Good morning, everybody. Ted Haggard here from St. James Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We're starting something new this week. This is May 1st, and this is the first Sunday we will be meeting as the Storehouse here at Gail and I's home, and we are all excited about it. It hadn't happened yet. It's early here, but people are going to start arriving, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful believers meeting. This morning, we're going to be talking about Proverbs, the first chapter. Actually, all this month, we're going to be talking about Proverbs, which is perfect. Let me explain to you. I'll be reading from the New Living Translation, explain to you why Proverbs. It says in verse 1, these are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, who the king of Israel. Their purpose, the purpose of the Proverbs, is to teach people wisdom and discipline. Okay, let's talk about wisdom for just a little bit. Here's where we're working on this definition. Wisdom is the capacity to do good with the knowledge you have. So whatever knowledge you have, if you can do well with it, and by well, we mean something positive to get you where you want to go. Because another definition of wisdom is fundamentally the art of being successful. Now, it doesn't say the art of being successful at good things, because a wise person can use their wisdom to accomplish their goals successfully, whether they be good or bad. Because wisdom is the capacity to make good use of the knowledge you have. All right. So if you are making good use of the knowledge you have and you're an evil person, then you'll be a more successful drug dealer or a more successful thief. Because wisdom is the art of being successful, or the correct plan to receive your desired result. Okay, so sometimes you see these videos that claim to demonstrate that all thieves are idiots. And so it shows thieves doing unwise things and they don't accomplish their goal. And it might be because they didn't have enough knowledge, or it might be that they were foolish in what they did with their knowledge. See, and so wisdom is the correct plan to receive our desired result. So let's say you want to have a good marriage. All right. So you will gain knowledge about your spouse, and you will gain knowledge about society, and you will gain knowledge about spirituality and intellectual development and physical preservation and all those types of things. All right. So you'll gain that knowledge. Then if you have wisdom, if you've gained wisdom, then you can use that knowledge to reach your desired result. All right. And so wisdom makes a person successful. It doesn't necessarily mean making a person successful at all good things. But once you gain knowledge about God, then you'll want to do good things, and wisdom will supplement that and give you insight. And so that's why we believe wisdom makes you godly. Because wisdom will show you the benefits of being good. And wisdom will show you the importance of being trustworthy, the importance of being honest, the importance of being moral, the importance of being informed, the importance of having discipline. Now, notice this. It says, their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline. All right. Now, those two are together for a very, very important reason. And that reason is the enemy of wisdom is pride. That's, I think I know better than everybody else. And what goes along with pride, which is always rebellion. So oh, I don't believe the authorities know what they're doing or saying, or I know what I want to do and I'm going to do it no matter what they say. So rebellion is not respecting chain of command. So you don't respect chain of command in civil society. You don't respect chain of command in the workplace. You don't respect chain of command with the local church. You don't respect chain of command in your family. And so if you don't understand chain of command in your family, then you're just an independent rebel. All right. You end up with pride. The same with work, the same with school, the same with your local church, all those different things. If you don't understand the importance of wisdom, which includes discipline, and discipline is wisdom and discipline are the enemies of wisdom and discipline are pride and rebellion. Okay, so when you put that together, then all of a sudden the Proverbs start to make sense, because some of the Proverbs deal with equity, equality, diversity, shrewdness, justice. All right. And how many people are on the equity bandwagon, but they have no wisdom? So they don't understand why everybody doesn't drive the same car, and why everybody doesn't get the same promotions, and why everybody doesn't make the same amount of money. Now, that's communism and socialism and the current equity movement, which is a nice ideal, but it's just never going to happen with the human race, at least in this era. And it's because some people will get cavities and other people won't. It's not always dependent on brushing. All right. Some people have the capacity to read a book and remember it 10 years later. Other people don't. Some people have hair and some don't. Some people are tall, some are short. Some people are pleasant looking. Other people didn't get the best break in the genetic code. All right. So everybody's different. And so to think everybody's results, depending on how we group them, like all women and all men should make the same amount of money for the same work. Well, I can tell you, I can have two people in an identical job, and one does sloppy work and the other does precise work. And so people are different. People speak differently. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's DNA is different. And so every one of us are unique in a special way. All right. So if we take the idea of equity, now what we don't want is hateful discrimination, like, oh, you're a white guy, so you're an oppressor, so you're a bad guy. All right. That's just not true. All right. Every generalization is false. There are exceptions to every generalization. All right. So wisdom tells you how to navigate that. Wisdom tells you how to use your race, your gender, your life to glorify God. All right. And so wisdom instructs us in all these things, and it is powerful. All right. Here's what it says. It says their purpose, the purpose of Proverbs, is to teach wisdom and discipline to help them understand the insights of the wise. Now, so first of all, wisdom will help you separate fools from wise people. All right. Because I know some people that are fools. All right. They neither understand the knowledge that they have, nor do they know how to apply it to be successful at anything good. All right. So those guys are fools. All right. And so some people, though, listen to fools and believe their foolishness. Thus, fools produce fools. All right. But then other people are wise. The issue with wisdom is to be able to identify it, to be able to know who is wise. I know a lady who is a marriage and family counselor, and she just finished up her fifth divorce. Now, people pay her a couple $100 an hour because she is highly qualified. All right. But she doesn't know how to keep a marriage. And she doesn't know how to raise a good family. But people pay her because she's got the degrees and she is a fool. All right. So because of that, and by a fool, that's the opposite of wisdom. Okay, remember, wisdom is the art of being successful. It's the correct plan to receive the desired results. It's the capacity to make good use of knowledge. And in that, the conclusion is you would believe eternal truths. You would believe people who are wise. In other words, it's not necessarily people who've never made mistakes. It's people who've learned from their mistakes and grown and gotten strong. All right. So people who've observed the world and come to wise conclusions. All right. So we know how to respond to Black Lives Matter if we have wisdom. We know how to respond to this situation in Ukraine if you have wisdom. If you don't have wisdom, you won't get your desired result. Our current president kept threatening sanctions on Russia to try to keep Russia from invading Ukraine. That might have been noble intent on his part, but it did nothing. He spent 2 hours on the phone with a leader of China to try to get China so they wouldn't be supportive of the Russian endeavors in Ukraine. And that 2-hour conversation gave us nothing. All right. So we have to figure out what will get our desired result. All right. And we have to know how to identify people who figured that out. All right. And if we don't know how to understand the insights of the wise, then we're just learning from ourselves, and our own experience is just our own experience. But the wonderful thing about being a human being is we all have language. And because of language, we can learn from one another, and we can identify wise people and learn from them. Verse 3 says, their purpose is to teach and live disciplined and successful lives. I didn't adequately develop the idea of discipline because all of us have an old sin nature that's being put to death, or in many of us, it has been put to death. All right. And so when the old sin nature is put to death, then, or in the process of being put to death, we have to have discipline, because our tendency will be to eat more fat and sugar and salt than is wise if we expect to live 3 or 4 more days. All right. And if we are fools, all right, I'll give you an example. We had a wonderful man run out of gas on an interstate highway, and he decided to get out of the car and cross the 6 lanes of the interstate highway to get gas. All right. So he was hit by a truck and died. All right. You tell me, if you're on a busy interstate highway and you run out of gas, should you try to cross 6 lanes of an interstate highway on foot? No. Why not? It's because nobody driving on an interstate is looking for pedestrians. And if they're like me, they may be eating a sandwich, drinking a Coke, listening to the radio, and talking with your wife all at the same time. All right. So there are percentage systems all around us. Okay. It's a percentage risk to drive a car. It's a percentage risk to go to a restaurant. It's some percentage of risk to do absolutely anything. Wise people evaluate that, and they are able to live a longer, healthier life. Okay. Foolish people have not figured out those percentage systems, and they have crazy logic. I'll give you one of them. Do you know I've stopped? This is tongue in cheek. Do you know I've stopped wearing my safety belt? Because I know some people that were wearing their safety belt and had an accident, and it was the safety belt that killed them. So I'm not going to wear a safety belt anymore in my car, because if I drive over a bridge and go into the water, that safety belt may kill me. And so I'm not going to do it. Okay. So I know some of you are listening and you're saying, that's good advice. I think that's right. You're a fool. Okay, because you don't look at the percentages. Okay, safety belts help us because of percentages. All right, there are exceptions. That was the exact same logic some people have used over the past 2 years to make some major decisions in their lives. Okay, so here it says, we're out of time. So their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined lives. In other words, lives that are wise and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. Now, that's the conclusion from spirituality. These proverbs will give insight to the simple. All of us were born needing to know. No one was born knowing. So these proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment. Notice that knowledge, you got to have knowledge to be able to apply it in wisdom. If you don't have knowledge, you can do everything you want to gain wisdom, but you don't have anything to work with. All right. So knowledge and discernment, that's just knowing the fundamentals of where things come from. To the young. All right. So, boy, could we have a discussion on this chapter. But anyway, that's enough for this week. I sure do love you all. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.